and welcome to my YouTube channel, everyone. Those who are watching my YouTube channel for the first time and do not follow me on Telegram, go to the link given below and you can join me on Telegram where I have more than 5,000 followers and you can join me with live, in live markets during that time. Today's video is going to be about the weekly technical analysis. I have been doing these weekly technical analysis videos and you can go on this YouTube channel and check the last few weeks the weekly technical analysis videos. What I end up doing is I discuss how the markets went in the week and I discuss certain stocks which come on my limelight in the coming week. Last week was a very interesting week, and fortunately or unfortunately till Friday, which when I made the last week video, we did not have a lot of price data, and I had said that I don't have a lot of trades on radar, and provided the market does not go below the current support level, which was just right at the bottom, there's a tendency it can go up. Otherwise, yes, the downward trend may continue. So today we're going to see something which across all sectors and many different stocks, we saw that there has been a very sharp pullback or a trend reversal which has happened. Now, the bigger question which generally people ask is, and I've got a lot of messages from people, so do you think the market has bottomed out? So do you think there's like a ultimate bottom, it will go and make a new high, etc., it will go to 12,000? Do you think that? And I say only one thing. No, I think like a trader. I think I have to be long when the market is going up. I have to be short when the market is going down. And because I think like a trader, and my time frame of trading is generally intraday or 2 days max. Maximum 3 days, only on certain occasions, or with very big targets. And the rest of my trading, which is the more swing or positional trading, those trading I do, like I take one of those trades once in a few weeks. So for me, the short term and intraday trading is about the trend which is happening in the now. Okay. So yes, as price data builds up, more and more signals keep coming. I use technical analysis, and as all of you know about me, what I do, and you can check out a lot of webinars which we've been having recently for free for people. And those who want to join me for the upcoming technical analysis course, you can join me. We are starting a batch in the coming Saturday. Just coming Saturday, we are starting a batch of full 15 session of webinars like this, but focusing on concept by concept by concept and giving, of course, a lot of example over the period of 15 sessions. And it is a completely online course. Moving on to the discussing the markets, what happened in the last 1 week. You see, what happens is in the time of confusion, when there's not too excess pessimism, and when there's not too much optimism left anymore in the sentiment, in these times of confusion, many times there is a reversal which happens. The reversal which happens many times in the stages of confusion. Right now, what we see in the markets falling somewhere from around August to September, around that area, we saw this big turn happening. Then there was a sharp fall which was happening. We saw all the patterns and found many lucrative trades on the way. I've been speaking about these kind of trading ideas in my Telegram channel. So those who are a part of my Telegram channel, very good. Otherwise, you can go and check. You can join the link below. It is going to be a one-of-a-kind experience for you. Because in that Telegram channel, I talk very practically. And whichever trades we talk about being on a radar, charts being on a radar, that me and my team work very hard to be able to give it all out to you, and that is all for free. Even more so, the students who have got taught by me, and they go through the trainings, and their WhatsApp group is merged together with a WhatsApp group of entirely the pack of all old students. Since the time I've been teaching, since 4 years, all the old students put together, all of them in a WhatsApp group, and we discuss markets live. So once you're done with the training, you'll become a part of that group. And you know what I completely believe in? I believe in living life king size, living life to the fullest. If you have to have big inspirations with trading and markets, of course, do consider joining the course and listen to each thing which I'm talking about in this video very clearly. If you want to make it big in the markets, want to make it really big, really big. You know, I'm really talking about long term over here. Anything big comes in the long term. Rome was not built in a day, and it takes time. Are you willing to give the time is something which you have to ask yourself a question. You will get to learn a lot from my videos in the coming week. In the last week, I was a bit busy also with my things, so I was little not active in the Telegram. I was busy with some personal things and professional commitments. But in the coming week, I plan to come live during live market hours on my Telegram channel. So definitely subscribe to that channel, Telegram channel, and that live will be again free for the public. Live markets will be tracked, and I've had some live sessions which you can go in this YouTube channel and check out. I've had these live sessions and they're wonderful. Sometimes what happens when the price is ready to budge, enough price data is there, and it is analytically at a predictable stage. You know, some of these you will see, and if you just go back to those dates, the market has actually moved accordingly. Is that effective? So definitely join me for those. And today we're going to discuss a larger perspective because such an important transition has happened in the last 1 week. This is what I want to focus on. You have to understand that in the markets, money is made if you can get the transitions right. Money is made if you can get the transitions right. Now, what I have noticed in my experience, every trader has a different style. Some of them will try to go and buy the bottom, and some of them will be smart and wait for the price to show some evidence of that reversal and then go long on the stock or specifically whichever instrument they're trading. What happens is that one has to stick to his style, and both may be a technical style. Like me and my student may have slightly different styles, even though he has learned from me, he or she has learned from me, but they will have slightly different styles. But what matters most is that over a consistent number of trades, a series of trades which I take or my students take, we have a certain kind of hit ratio, which is the number of trades getting right out of a total number of trades, and a certain kind of risk to reward. All that put together really helps us get the net profits or consistent profits in trading. And once you hit that consistency barrier and you go beyond that consistency barrier, believe me, for a lifetime you can make consistent money in the market. And then the growth comes out exponentially on its own. The growth comes out exponentially on its own. So what is important over here is the process behind trading. Now let's take markets for an example. Like what happened in the last 1 week. Okay, in the last 1 week, I'm going to show you index, Nifty, and Bank Nifty, and then I'm going to pull up certain stocks which I have on my radar and show you what are the developments I'm seeing in them. They can be no, they can be things you may not be able to understand from a technical perspective, but I will try to make the language as smoothly, easily possible for you. Now, speaking of the transition, when I spoke about the transition, what I genuinely meant basically was that you see this transition which is happening here in the last 5 days. There's a sharp pullback which is happening. Now, this sharp pullback may or may not lead to, that is not the prerogative of me when I'm going long over here, may or may not lead to an overall trend. Okay, it might just go up again a little bit and then go down. It may happen like that. But the prerogative over here is that when I have been able to catch the evidences of a turn, if the evidences of a turn have come around and they have shown to me that now I'm turning, market has shown to me, then those situations are the situations where I can clearly understand how I can take a trade because I have been able to identify this transition. Now, this transition is very important. You see, what tends to happen is that in our markets, we are, and I always say, don't discuss markets with anybody. Do your own analysis, understand your own trading, and you will be far more effective in whatever you are doing. Okay. So when this turn had happened, I've spoken about it by showing you the hourly, daily, and weekly charts. Let's take a look at this example. Let's see what is exactly happening over here. And many of my students, including myself also, we all have been able to take many trades only on the long side this week which have profited. I don't think I've taken only one trade on the short side which was also profiting, but yeah, other than that we took only long side trades, right? Now for example, if you see this area from where we can clearly see that there is a clear, very clear trend line breakout. Now trend line should always be followed with the rules. I always tell everybody, whenever you have technical analysis, go for the full knowledge. Don't trade with half knowledge. Half knowledge can be very, very fatal. Okay. Now the rules say that the trend line should touch a minimum of 1, 2, 3 points or more points. They should not touch 2 points. 2 points, when 2 points are touched, okay, when 2 points are touched and you make a trend line, like a lot of people just kind of squander their energy on making trend lines like that. 2 points will be connected with a line. That is geometry. That is not technical analysis. That is geometry. Technical analysis is when more than 2 points are coming together to make a clear trend line. And that clear trend line, when broken, as we can see over here, can lead to a reversal of the trend. Okay. Now the last major subwave, trying to again keep the language too simple for you all. The last major subwave which we saw, okay, we saw that there has been a trend line breakout of this, and there has been a clear trend reversal, which looks something like this on the daily chart. So this low which you see on the daily chart is actually this low. Okay. Apart from that, there was a consistent resistance which was made, and I'm making all of this right now in front of you. Generally when I trade, I make this for myself anyway. Before there's this consistent resistance zone which was made over here, and another interaction point which came around over this region. Okay, so we see 2 degrees of importance in these interaction points. All interaction points may or may not be important pertaining to the momentum and strength of the trend. So the strength of the trend which was down was pretty significant. The strength of the trend which was down, which was pretty significant over here. Now this was the chart data which I had till Friday, and I had mentioned only if we go below this low should we take a call, because at the same time the other index, Bank Nifty, okay, and the other index, Bank Nifty, had to take down this previous low, right? So I clearly mentioned that one should look for a lower low, only then think of going on the short side, and then the continuation would happen. And there were not a lot, I didn't get actually a lot of trades on my radar, which I had mentioned. Like if you go 1 week previous, then we got 3 or 4 trades which worked out beautifully. You can just go to that video, okay, of the previous weekly session which I had. And so the strength of the trend is very strong. So I will not take the minor interaction point. I will take the major interaction point. So in order to get a bigger move of higher magnitude, I need to take the more important variables which are in alignment with the more important bigger time frames. So yes, you can say the bigger patterns are more important. So these interaction points were important, right? And at the same time, there was a trend line breakout, right? At the same time, there were other interaction points, and how beautifully the market actually went, broke out from this small interaction point zone, gathered power. In the next 2 days, it actually went down. Yeah, this was around the time when I'd taken some short trades. Actually went down. Now this resistance area, the minor resistance, not a very major one, minor resistance area became a support, because till here only the sellers were protecting the price. Now the buyers overwhelm the sellers, and now buyers are protecting it. And then it shot up, crossing even the major zone. So you can see how clearly we saw a very good trend espousing out of this sort of a scenario and pattern breakout. I hope all of you have understood this very clearly, those who are watching the videos. Right, now let's understand how these things were similar in the Bank Nifty chart. But just for a change, Bank Nifty chart I will take from the daily chart point of view also. Okay, so from the daily chart point of view, what has happened with Bank Nifty in the recent past is that in the recent past we saw Bank Nifty has actually hovered around in the last 1 month around these areas where it had made the ultimate lows. Okay, it had made ultimate lows. It hovered around this area. Okay, when it made the lows around this area 1 month back, there was a pullback. There was a pullback, and that pullback again led to a certain fall. Now the structure is very different from Nifty. If Nifty you take up, the structure is different. Nifty had a significant pullback also, but it made a new low. And Bank Nifty made a pullback, but it has not made a new low. So all of you, I think can easily guess what I'm trying to say. That Bank Nifty has not made a lower low. Okay, when Nifty has made a lower low, that means a lot of stocks are not participating on the downside. Okay, to make it easier and more trackable for people, let me make another chart and do the comparison. This is the daily chart of Nifty, and this is the daily chart of Bank Nifty. In the daily chart of Nifty, we see, one second guys. In the daily chart of Nifty, we see that there has been a strong pullback. At the same time, even the daily chart of Bank Nifty, there's a strong pullback. After that, Nifty has made a lower low, whereas Bank Nifty has not made a lower low. So you see what I'm trying to say, that there is a change in the breadth. Of course, we got to know the fact that it is not making a lower low after it stopped going down and start turning up. But I'm trying to tell you a broader picture over here, that this is showing us a sentimental shift in the market. That means when this made a lower low compared to the previous lows, a lot of stocks were not participating to make new lows. In fact, more stocks have participated to actually go up when the market turned up, right? Also, this also tells us that in case of the Bank Nifty stocks, the Bank Nifty stocks are the stocks which are actually having a very good relative strength. Relative strength over here does not mean RSI. Relative strength means relative strength and momentum compared to the other stocks. So if we take up the Bank Nifty stocks, which on my, and I always suggest, do things professionally. If you're in the market, if you are doing things professionally, if you're doing it for a living, or if you want to choose to do it for a living over the long term, do things professionally. That is why I keep my things spick and span. I work for 4 hours a day and make more money than a job can give me. But yes, when I'm in the markets, then I do things methodically. And I teach my students also. So I've got this professional software also, right? I can check out all the groups which I have. So I'll take out the Bank Nifty group. So coming to the various Bank Nifty stocks, Axis Bank, the weekly chart, looking for amazing things to happen in the long term. The ICICI Bank chart was also very good. So let me just flip the different charts. Last time we discussed Kotak Bank and IndusInd Bank in the video, that the first 2 days don't look like very attractive. So I'll come to those stocks. This is the daily chart of ICICI Bank. Again, on the weekly chart, looks amazing things to happen in the long term to continue the trend. So ICICI and Axis are something one can look into. Then I have something like IndusInd Bank, which I had spoken about on Friday perhaps here, that I'm seeking to see lower lows, significant lower lows, because according to my wave counts, new lows were yet to come. And according to my late wave counts, these were the strongest parts of the move. So the weaker lows were yet to come. And same thing for Kotak, and it worked out perfectly. It worked out perfectly on Monday, right? So same thing. This was Friday on Kotak, and there was a low after that, the next day itself. It has not really performed after that, but yes, market has been able to absorb a lot of selling pressure in it. So guys, this was Nifty and Bank Nifty. One of the stocks which I did not speak on the video, which I missed out last weekend, and I have posted it later in my Telegram channel, is about Havells. Okay, now Havells is a stock which is on a long-term uptrend, and when stocks on a long-term uptrend come and make patterns which are seemingly bottoming patterns, they are amazing to take short-term trades on. So I noticed 3 or 4 candles with long wicks, long lower wicks. That means when the long lower wicks are there, and I've learned candlesticks from the best in the world. Believe me, we go very deep in candlesticks in our course also. So when I'm talking about candlesticks, you need to understand it from the essence point of view. The essence of this is, what is the essence of this? Essence is that during this time period, whatever time frame candle it is, when the market goes lower, market rejects the lower levels within that time period. So there's a weekly chart, market rejects the lower levels. It rejects it once, twice, thrice, 4 times. The price is gathering the steam to go up. Now let's see what is happening from the point of view of the daily chart. The daily chart also we see some interesting bottoming things happening and amazing candles, which I'm not getting too much into details so as to not confuse you. And over here, I see an triangle pattern, ascending triangle pattern over here. And there was a buy call which was given in my free channel. You can just join Telegram. And I'm saying that okay, I may not be right all the time, but you'll see many times or most of the times that that is what technical trading is about. Most of the times I'm right, and you can check out all the calls given in that Telegram channel. Many of them are right, some of them here and there are wrong too, but the whole point is consistency and the magnitude of move being amazing. So this is the whole idea. There was a ascending triangle breakout as well as a double bottom breakout on the daily chart. So all that put together, Havells became one of the very important things. And even now, the strength is pretty much there. But what as a short-term trader, I look for fresh signals. In the coming week, for the coming few days, what my view on the market is that after a very steep down move and a sudden uprise in the market, you see, market does not go up and go down. Market does not go up and go down. It builds base by base, and if the moves are too swift, the market often rests, often slows down, becomes sideways in momentum in order to again, digest the gains. So I feel that something like that can happen, but I would be having an upward bias at the moment. Amar Raja battery is something which is completely on my radar. Now, over here on the weekly chart, I see that there is a tendency for the stock to show very broad sideways movement, which is happening over the last few years. In the last 1.5 years or so, we saw that it is hovering on the lower end of the range. Now, according to my personal analysis on this via Elite Wave, I personally feel that there's something really fishy happening over here, which could lead to an interesting end. So we saw that there is a higher high also, there is a lower low also, okay, and this kind of a high high also and lower low also, and then another lower low. These kind of things, when they happen, that means some complicated correction is going on, which may take some more time, may go on, okay. But however, from the lower part of the range, it looks very strong to go higher. So if for intraday purpose, etc., I would be keeping my eyes fixed on Amar Raja for the intraday purpose and for the short-term positional purpose. For this move to extend higher, to what extent it can go, that the market will tell. But yes, I do expect Amar Raja Bharat to have a higher probability of going higher. The volumes are also picked up in the stock, and this structure is again giving me a very good subwave structure and a pattern breakout. So I would be buying at any dip Amar Raja. This is one of the stocks on my radar. One more stock which is on my radar is Godrej Consumer Products. Now here I'm not very bullish. Okay. Here the thing is that I'm expecting the stock to give me some bearish evidence in the coming 4 days. the way the stock has gone down, according to my sub wave counts, I feel there could easily come about lower lows. So I'm keeping my eyes on that. And also, there's an intermarket relationship which points towards the IT and pharma sector. The IT and pharma sector can have a beating because dollar USD INR is negatively correlated with the Indian markets. So if the markets are turning bullish and the sectors like IT and pharma going down, I'm seeing some development which is happening over the IT stocks. A few days back, so the Mindtree, I'm expecting Mindtree to make new lows. Stocks like Hexaware are tanking. Stocks like TCS are relatively stronger, but we need to focus and I'm talking more about the sectoral play over here. Okay, Infi also showed some signs of turnaround, but again, I'm looking for weakness to carry forward, and more than the IT, I'm looking for in the pharma sector, to be honest. So Lupin would be on my radar. Lupin would be on my radar if these lows are taken out. Biocon will be on my radar if these lows are taken out. Okay, Biocon may see some bearish developments happening over here, and if it goes down after that, I will short it on the way, and probably we may see something interesting. But let these developments happen. See, every weekend it's not going to be possible to have a fresh trade for Monday. So I have 2-3 stocks on my radar because the week will give me more price data, and therefore there will be more out there to be learned and more out there to be analyzed. So I do my homework every single day because it's a beautiful Sunday evening. I just sometimes like to, give a break to everything and understand and do my homework much more slowly on weekly basis. This also adds a lot of things to my analysis and gives me a lot of inputs from the point of view that we are over here. Okay, when we are doing technical trading, we cannot do things without a preparation, right? We need preparation is the key to excellence. When we are doing trading, from the technical point of view, preparation is the key to excellence. On that note, what I would suggest is, if you really want to learn, you join my course, which is a 15-session course. And generally on these weekly videos, you will not see me saying this, but because we have a batch starting coming weekend, I would encourage all of you to. I'm just charging 12,500 rupees for it. When it comes to the markets, you know how much money you can make, right? So guys, enjoy whatever you do, learn and do whatever you do from a study point of view. Take calculated risks, have fun in trading, enjoy it, irrespective of profit and loss. If you enjoy it, you can be actually doing it better. So thank you so much. Have fun and get in touch with me over Telegram. Thanks a lot, guys. Have fun. Good night. Bye bye. Enjoy.